Two games for your NRL Sunday. We had the Roosters v the Warriors, and we also had the Dragons and the Knights. So a couple of fairly close games again. I've actually been enjoying the amount of tries that have been scored and how, yes, games might be won or lost by 12 to 14 points, but, they were close at one point during the game and a team's really pushed away and done well. So really enjoying that at this stage. But the Roosters and the Warriors, so very low scoring fantasy game in this one with Adam Fanua-Blake being our top scorer with 57. So very interesting one there. He had a remarkable run earlier on in the game, which got netted him a bunch of points with the line break and a bunch of tackle breaks. So well done to Adam with no missed tackles either. So 57 for him. If you held on through a couple of those lower weeks, then you were rewarded with that 57 today. So well done. I know a few people that did manage to hold him, and hoping that he continues there. That at least that 50 average heading in, towards the bye rounds for sure. Sammy Walker with 49, so got the try, which was nice. A bunch of tackles there, just doing a little bit of everything. So he was, solid without being spectacular again. So Sammy is that. Curran, I'm surprised he played the minutes that he did. He had two issues. The sternum issue with whose head was it? Hargraves or Crichton's head that just went straight into his sternum. He had that, and then he had obviously the calf or the shin issue or whatever that was as well. So he managed to still play 69 minutes and get through his work. So he was okay without being spectacular. You'll take the 48. Could have been a lot better than the 10 that he might have been gone off with after that 20 minutes. So we'll take that, and hopefully he's fine for next round. Crichton back on the edge, which is interesting. So still a low score for him. He'll continue to drop that little bit lower. Even with that 46, we won't see any price rise from him. I'd like to see a big game from him before we look to pick him up anyway, because he didn't start too incredibly well fantasy-wise either on that edge in that big minute role. So let's hold off on him. Victor, he's been becoming a little bit more consistent, which is nice, but still not an option. Daniel Tupou with 46, so he continues to just do his thing. Again, won't be an option fantasy-wise, but just impressive to see him just get churned through his meters, get his tries, do his thing each and every week. He's been awesome. Reece Walsh with 41. Again, just that lesser tier at the moment in terms of fantasy superstars. He's not running for over 200 meters. He's getting try assists. He's getting the odd try saver as well, a few goals and stuff like that. So he's doing okay without being spectacular. 44.4 average. We need him to get up in the 50s before we look to pick him up for sure. Egan with 41. I think it's time to move him on. He just hasn't been scoring well enough lately. When there's a lot better options in the hooking position. You've got the Randall, Grant, Starling combo. So if you have Egan as well, then I think you're missing out elsewhere, or in that hooking position if you're missing out on one of those three. Teddy with a 40. So how long can you hold him now? It's becoming a little bit annoying. He has obviously only just lost the 56k. So he's priced currently in the lower 40s, and will continue to drop a little bit further. But again, a lot of people are going to try to pick him up eventually, whether that's now or heading in the next 2-3 weeks, if he happens to get a big score. But just remember what happened with Fafita, with the Tedesco one. If you can hold, if you were able to hold steady with Fafita, or if you trade him after a few weeks, same with Taumalolo. It only takes 1 week for them to really go, oh yes, I'm back, and have that confidence again and get back into it. So Teddy, I felt, was more involved this week. He did have the 6 tackle breaks and 2 offloads, which is nice. So if he can get some attacking stats, he still hasn't scored any tries, and hasn't assisted much either. So Teddy, I think, needs to get back into the groove of things, and he'll be okay. But until then, it's just a bit tough and a bit annoying holding him at this point. But I think you need to do so. How much is Luke Keary going to lose before he starts to have one big game? He's just very much flying under the radar at the moment for the Roosters. They keep winning games, thankfully, for their sake. But all of them will kind of click together soon. It's been a while since they've all played together. Remember that? So Teddy with Keary as well. He had the full year off, so that's the annoying one with him. All right, Aiken. So just less run meters than what we would have hoped, and the tackles as well down in 28. So again, just wasn't a very high fantasy scoring game, this one, which is a little bit annoying. Had the 1 offload and the 3 missed tackles. So just not his game. After getting 80 last week, just be aware that this happens. Dylan Brown went 80, 31. Aiken's gone, a bunch of 40s, a big 80, and then a 34. So it can happen, and just don't try not to react to each and every score. A 34 is fine when he's averaging 49.5. I was hoping he'd average 50 for the season. So this is exactly how it was drawn up, which is really, really good. So don't worry about him going forward. All right, down a little bit lower, we've got the Joey Manu. So again, the things that, this is how he was scoring that first bunch of games about the attacking stats. So if he doesn't get them, this is what you're going to expect. Just remember with Manu, you're going to be riding the good with the bad also. People are going to look to pick him up over the next bunch of weeks. For those that are looking to wait a little bit longer, then this lower score helps a little bit. His price doesn't inflate too much to where he gets over 600k and he becomes hard to pick up in your side. So Manu with the 25, it's okay. You can cop that if you own him. Sawali was back. He's going to lose a little bit at that 19 with that 19 score. So again, waiting for him to show some games of brilliance before you look to pick him up. But we don't even think he's going to get an extended time in the squad either. So that's something to think about. And then to finish off for this game here is the Jesse Arthur's 10. So unfortunately for him, he's had two really, really good games against some slightly lesser sides. So he's been running good lines, but scoring tries on that right edge, running off Sean Johnson. And unfortunately, this game just didn't happen for him with that 10. So the 13 tackles, a couple of misses, an error, a couple of penalties as well. So 10 in the negatives, just 55 run meters wasn't enough for him, unfortunately. And I just, just wipe that off, put it back in the bag and see what happens with him going forward. They'd come up against some okay teams, some good ones as well. So again, just see what happens. This is what happens with outside backs sometimes. They're going to have some bad games and they'll move on and they'll improve from there. That'll happen with Aiken. It's going to happen with all of them. How fun was this game to watch, actually? The first 20 or 30 minutes was like, ugh. The Dragons had all the ball. They couldn't attack right. It just wasn't really happening. And then it kind of turned into a really fun game. There's a bit of niggle in there, which I'll speak about as well. Was one of my favourite footy players to watch. But yeah, interesting one there. But it's so great to see Ponga back and doing really well. He's gotten obviously really cheap over the last bunch of weeks and hasn't been averaging very high at all in that high 20s. So picks up the first 100 of the year. So 102 there with a try saver. The try assist there, we had 10 tackle breaks and 7 offloads. So 48 points just in those two there alone with the 240 meters gain and the 6 kick defusal. So just an amazing one for Ponga. Welcome back. In amongst all the contract talks, it's very, very interesting that looks like he was going to, officially extend his contract, and then I'm not sure what's happening with the Knights, if they're pulling that back or what's happening. There's talks about Munster being, the Knights going after Munster as well, and Ponga going to Dolphins. There's a lot going on, and for him to come out and show that was, a great test of character, a great nerve builder for sure. So well done to Pong, did that. Anyone who held on to him, I don't think there's a high percentage of people that do. At 7%, I was a lot higher before, but well done if he did that. And a lot of people actually look to pick him up next week. You watch that. Another couple of standouts here were David Clemmer and Moses Sully. Both just had awesome games. With Clem with 51 minutes for 71, 59 in base with a line break, 3 tackle breaks and an offload. He was special in his first game back, so well done to Clem. And Sully just came out and showed his dominance as well and what he can do with the 2 try assists, the 9 tackle breaks, a couple offloads. Pretty much all positives there. Even with the 3 missed tackles, he's still able to score that high. So well done to Sully. Again, not a heap of people own him at 2.7, but he was great. So Frizz being a 1.9% owner with his 62, so good to see him back hitting those 60s, constantly again. The two men, of course, they're right next to each other in the scoring as well, but the Lomax and Frizzell. So we'll talk about that one. Obviously, spoken how much I love Lomax as a player, but it was obviously a little bit of a brain snap. You can see he's a bit, being a young fella. I just think it wasn't the right thing to do at all to jump on Frizz's back, and I think it was well deserved what Frizz did to him and ripped him down to the ground. I think completely fair game. At least it can be sorted out on the field, and Lomax will learn from that for sure. Especially not to do that to an established veteran like Frizzell. So it's good to say you don't see much aggression from Frizz other than during the game. So it's good to see that he actually retaliated and go, no mate, you can't do that. Lomax will learn from it. Yes, we can talk about these kids. Think about. We give these guys crap. I know a lot of people give Jerome Luai for getting in people's faces, getting excited during games and stuff like that. But just remember that they're playing footy. They're in there. They have to be aggressive, in a positive way. You're obviously not hitting head highs. You're not doing that kind of stuff. They're not punching all the rest. But a bit of this is going to be in the game. So it's good that if they can sort out themselves and learn from it, I think that's completely fine. Bradman Best was great with 57, so good to see him back, playing really, really well. That real simple try assist for him, making that line break, and he burnt Lomax for pace actually, which was really good to see. He's got the strength, but the pace was really, really good there on show. Randall with 80 minutes was great, 52 tackles for him, continuing to do his work in that big minutes was good. Gags with 50, so if you held on to him, awesome. 7 missed tackles you're not too keen on, but the 9 breaks, 9 tackle breaks, and also the 2 offloads was good. Benny Hunt with 47. So if you held on, he did improve across the game. Thankfully, the 3 offloads, the 3 tackle busts there, running 113 meters, and a really nice line break try assist, which they didn't give him a line break, did they? No. That's interesting. Did he actually make the line break or the Fagai? Oh, maybe, yeah, they gave it to Fagai. That's all right. But the kick back inside for the try assist was good. So the main worry with him now is he's had 3 really low scores in a row. We need some bigger ones coming up. And just the way that they're playing in general, I don't know if it's going to happen, but 47 you'll cop and you'll hopefully move on. Like, he's priced at 711, which is just above that 50 average. So he's almost priced at where he needs to be. Probably drop a tiny bit lower from here. But remember, he's made 36k for the season. So if you started with him, he's done a really good job for your side. If you're still holding on to Jackie Bird, a 40 with a try was okay. Again, without being spectacular. I'm really impressed with Brodie Jones. Hey, I did blow up at the TV. I did yell when I found out that he was off at the back with cramps. I just wanted that extra sort of 5 to 7 points from him. A 45 to 50 would have been terrific at his price point. But he's going to continue to make money. His average is great over the first 3 games. 67 minutes, 70, 80, we'd somewhere like. The 4 missed tackles was a little bit annoying because I think he defends really well. Ran the ball a little bit better this week, got the 3 tackle breaks and the line break assist as well. So good stuff for Brodie. That 40, you can continue to play him in your side, and we'll quickly see him up in about that 450, 500 over the next sort of 4 to 5 weeks if he can continue to do this, which I think he can. All right, the Kurt Mann one becomes an interesting one now. He got some attacking stats this week. The 2 tackle breaks, the offload to ground, and the line break, and still only got the 39. And the 56 minutes is the issue, but we've seen that a few times this year. So he could be someone that you eventually look to potentially move on if you need to use that 600k to upgrade elsewhere. He has made a fair bit of cash. He's done a good job. Yeah, it's just annoying that the games that he gets the attacking sacks, so that he doesn't get the 50, 55. And the PPM's fairly low. So, still 33 tackles, but 2 errors, 2 missed tackles, and the ruck infringement to get -9 there obviously hurts that. So, someone we'll think about. We'll speak about him a little bit further. Someone like Jake Clifford has to go. Unfortunately, just a bunch of too many low games for him in a row. Not good enough. Needs to move on. The Knights aren't as good as we thought they were at the start of the season. Well, a lot of people thought they were. So I think he needs to move on, unfortunately. There's so many great options in the halves that I think that he needs to go. Leo Thompson, with 26, so he was okay again. A couple of missed tackles, 2 offloads, just the lack of run meters at 32, which was annoying for him. I wasn't able to get as many attacking stats. Even with those 3 to 4 runs, he still had the 2 offloads there. So he's going to be someone that will start to level out in his price gains as well, but obviously 124k is really nice to have that pick up. Anyone else a little bit lower? Just got the Talatau Amone as well with 15 in his 11. So he obviously came on and created a bit of an impact and helped in that last try to seal the game. So well done to him. Moses Umbai out the back with 22 points in his 80. So he wasn't too special, and we can avoid him as a pickup at any time throughout the rest of the season. But that's that, guys. I hope you enjoyed the wrap up for those 2 games. We've obviously got the Eels and the Tigers this afternoon, and I hope you guys get stuck in to that one and enjoy that. Obviously, there's sunshine out here in Sydney, so that should be a fun game out in Parramatta Land. But yeah, what's the score prediction for that one? Let me know in the comments what you think that's going to be. But I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Subscribe, like if you did, and we'll catch you in the next one.